we are live on the Facebook page itself. And I just want to make sure that we're live on the Facebook page itself. Hey, hello. 1 minute, please. I just need to make sure we're live on the Facebook page. I have. Okay, so we are. I'm just checking to see how many people are online now. Yeah, hi everybody. Sorry about the delay starting this session with Hala. I apologize. We've had some technical issues, which has led to the delay, quite a significant delay. But nonetheless, I'm just going to wait for a few more people to log on to this session, and then we're going to begin in the next 2 to 3 minutes, okay? Okay, so bear with us, Allah. Okay, so I'm going to begin, and I would like to take this time to apologize for the delay, and also I would also like to take this time to introduce my audience. First of all, my name is Ade. I am the founder of pharmacistweb.com. Pharmacist Web is an online platform for pharmacists. It currently has over 1.6k members and growing. And my guest here today is a lady called Hala Jawad. Hala Jawad is a community pharmacist who has worked within various sectors, has loads of experience in different sectors. She has been part of the RPS steering group and has been very successful in helping the RPS steering group in to develop. She has also been a public health moderator for RPS Network. She has mentored various young pharmacists and has helped them to achieve their goals. She works alongside the likes of Pharma and has helped the pre-reg students who are at Pharma to achieve their goals as well. Hala has been I believe you've been also nominated as a Titan of Brighton as well. So, just before we begin, the way it's going to work is I'm going to ask Hala 3 questions just to gain an idea as to why she's decided to stand for the RPS TV this year. And then after that, we may take some, depending on time, we may take some questions from the audience as well. Okay, Hala, so would you like to just tell us about yourself? Just, some brief words, tell us about yourself. I mean, I've introduced you, but I mean, I don't even think I've done you full justice in terms of the introduction because you've done a lot of things. And that's actually taken me a lot of research before I was able to get that amount of information. So please do tell the audience a bit more about yourself.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you, Abby, for hosting me tonight. It's a pleasure for me to be here tonight talking about pharmacy. You introduced me, thank you very much. My name is Hala, as everyone knows. You said it anyway. I'm a University of Brighton Pharm graduate and a member of the Royal Pharmaceutical Society for nearly 4 years. I'm delighted to be standing for the elections as an English pharmacy board member. As you said, I'm a GP practice, community and media pharmacist. I'm relatively young in service, and if elected, I hope to bring unbridled drive and infectious enthusiasm to my role, whistle offering, of course, the following aspirations. So I will probably harness social media and technology resources to help ensure the NHS 5-year forward view becomes a reality to secure the future of pharmacy. I will encourage as well and drive forward the notions of fair representation of all pharmacy sectors, and I'm keen as well to work with electorates so that issues across all pharmacy sectors are represented and addressed. As well, I have to work with the fellow elected English Pharmacy Board members to ensure I deliver the best, because it's important to deliver the best practice to all RPS members. I will support and drive forward collaborative working and ensure a unified voice. You have to have a unified voice in pharmacy, and of course, to ensure the RPS helps to lead, unite, and develop the profession by strengthening all the energy and the strategy. And basically, we have to work and collaborate with all other national pharmacy representations and organizations such as the MPA, PSNC, and we have as well to promote communication, networking, basically interaction, international interaction with supporting the LPC and greater pharmacy engagement regarding the FTPs. And of course, I'm supporting as well the PDA, safety pharmacy charter, and other stuff. And of course, the cuts and all that stuff we can. I mean, I've written all this about the cuts and the revalidation and the GDPR all in my letters, which will be published so soon. I think they'll be published by Pharmacy in Practice and by the CJ, and we have interviews for today's pharmacists and others. Just a quick intro.
Okay.
Too much to
Yeah.
talk about.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot to talk about. I mean, I had to do a lot of research about you before, obviously, we came on the
Can
show.
you hear me anyway?
Um, yes, I can.
Properly?
Now, what I
Yeah.
would like to know is, what do you think that you can bring to the RPS this year? Uh, and
So,
I say that because of the fact that the EPB elections have been going on for a while. This is not the first year that they've been going on, and certainly we've had candidates who past have promised to deliver certain things to pharmacy, and for them not being able to deliver that to pharmacy. Um, and that's why I want to know what you believe you can bring to pharmacy this year.
I think so it's important. So, everyone must be part of the society and make their voice to be heard. And I think so it's as well, we need to have access to make sure that the members have access to the board members and able to share their voice and their views. And I think so that's the most important thing. How we can work together, if we can share our views, our opinion, our voice. So we need to come and unite together this year and make sure our voice is heard. I would like to support as well the profession and its members to develop and grow and to show their potential and their aspirations, all of us, because nothing can work if we're not all combined together to show that energy. I believe my wider skills will enable me to further benefit the RPS and its members, and basically, so working together by bringing all different sectors and empower our society, the World Pharmaceutical Society. So, if elected, my aims include to help develop a united voice, and I continue to say that a united voice, and facilitate working together as a unified profession, because it's important to work together as a unified profession by ensuring regular and closer communication and collaboration and collaborative working with all national pharmacy organizations, as I mentioned before, continue to build upon a greater recognition of the value of pharmacists to develop further roles and services, and facilitate, of course, the better engagement on all levels within the pharmacy profession, from early years to foundation levels and beyond. We need to continue towards working together towards a Royal College status to ensure that we work within the new transformation effectively. And this includes SPPs and basically ensure proper funding is accessed by all, as well as promote greater pharmacy influence on key stakeholders, communicators, and SPPs. So, I mean, of course, we talked about the PDA Charter, the four principles. I'm supporting all of this. And these are the basics for now, because, of course, everything will be shown later in my letters. And, of course, we need to address as well the workforce pressure, because loads of pharmacists are under workforce pressure. And this is a real worrying issue, which I will help to address through the RPS stronger advocacy at the English Pharmacy Board and by championing the excellent and innovative runs by pharmacist support, basically. That's a small intro. And of course, we have to keep the RPS sustainable and attractive for our members as well to make them know what the RPS does provide for them.
Exactly, and I think what I get from your response is that you're very keen on bringing a lot of energy to the RPS, and also it seems like you're actually quite connected with the grassroots pharmacists, the pharmacists who are working on a daily basis, and I can get that, and that's
Yeah, the
partly because of
court-based pharmacists,
you.
we have the GTBR is an issue, the revalidation. So there's loads of things we need support in, and we need to come together and
Yeah,
support each other, I think. So it's the time to all come as one voice and unite. And of course, the cuts is a
that's
big issue.
yeah, the cuts or something else.
I have written
Um,
a lot of stuff, I think, so they'll be published soon about the cuts and what we're addressing and all the plan and strategy and all those things. So if
yeah.
anyone needs
So
more information, I'll send them private emails.
yeah, so I said, I mean, the cuts is something I don't want to discuss because we
Yeah.
could be here for a very long time.
Yeah,
But I
long
certainly think
two, 3 hours.
I certainly think that one of the things that you seem to be able to bring is actually that passion and that energy from the fact that you seem to know a lot about what's going on in pharmacy. And I think one of the things that the RPS is sometimes accused of is not being very close in terms of to the grassroots pharmacy and actually representing what happens in the day-to-day lives of pharmacists. And I think certainly having more pharmacists who are more engaged in the RPS would definitely, I mean, sorry, in APD would definitely be useful. Um, so I'm going to move on to our second question of the night now. And the
Yeah.
second question is basically, pharmacy is very broad, hello. I mean, and it's very broad because of the fact that we've got pharmacists working in GP practice, we've got pharmacists who work in community pharmacists, we've got pharmacists who work in hospitals, we've got pharmacists who work in the pharmaceutical industry and also in a variety of other places. Now, my question to you is, how will you ensure that the RPS adequately represent the views of all these pharmacists?
So as I mentioned, I talked about the United Voice. That's as I mentioned before, the United Voice make everyone's voice be heard as a group, grassroots involvement, so everyone's voice is being recognized. Make sure that we have fair representation for every single sector, and make sure if there is, sorry, just please. Yeah, make sure if there is any gaps, make sure to fill the gaps. At the moment, we have a lot of pressure on the community, so we need to support those people, and we have as well pressure on different sectors. So we have to make sure that we equate um, all the pressure on every single sector. I mean, my word is still is a yeah, good potential in that because I work in different sectors, and by my skills we can help to work on these stuff. As I mentioned all before, all the points. So I'm
I
before
certainly
you.
think it's very good that you've worked in at least two of the sectors that I've mentioned, which I think at least means that it's a bit you represent a bit more of the voices and you know what these people are going through. I mean, certainly community pharmacists are facing a huge amount of challenges in terms of the pharmacy cuts, in terms of the rates for locums, for example, and the work pressure that some pharmacists are facing. I think having somebody like you who's worked within the sector and who sometimes practices within that sector is
Yeah, even
really good.
having a different, I mean, I have different friends in different sectors, so I know what the hospital are going through. I hear from the community what they're going through. I hear from the GP practice pharmacists what they're going through. So when you work with people on different sectors, you start to address the issues and know what they're facing. And I think so it's time. If everyone brings their strengths and potential to the RPS, then we're going to bring our RPS to a stronger level with all of us working together. And that's really, really important to let everyone get involved because one person can't do the whole job.
No, I agree, and
Collaboration.
it's certainly very good that you're quite keen on being very inclusive. I mean, that's what I get from the discussion that I'm having with you. Obviously, you already have you've got the background in terms of some of the your practice, working in community and in GP practice pharmacy, and also from I believe you've had an experience in hospital as well. So I think
Yeah, many
definitely what I
places.
get,
Yeah.
you're willing to listen, and I think that's very important. And part of the reason I say that's very important is because when we talk about revalidation, for example, as a pharmacist who is practiced in the pharmaceutical industry, sometimes I do wonder as to whether or not um, revalidation is something that's just mainly focused on pharmacists who work within the community sector. I mean, for example, the main focus of revalidation is a focus, and if you're working in a back office where you're not, your day-to-day element isn't actually working with the um, the patient, it can be a bit difficult. I do feel like we need to actually listen to all sectors, and I think it's very nice and it's very refreshing to have somebody on board who is keen to do that. Okay, so now, Hala, I'm going to move on to the third question. And this question, I hope you don't mind me asking, but I have to ask this. And it's just based on some of the observations that I've had, some of the things I've seen, and I want to give you the opportunity to address this. Now, one of the things I've seen is that Hala, you're clearly a very prominent figure, particularly in social media, and you know what I see and what I tend to think is that it's very easy for people to actually assume that that's all Hala Jawad is. Somebody who's very well known in social media, somebody who's very um, who's quite a figure in social media. But I don't think that's who you are. I mean, from what I've read about you and from actually reviewing the stuff about you, what would you like to say in terms of letting people know a bit more about you um, and some of the things that you've done aside from social media
So
and maybe some of those myths that people may have.
So social media came in as a talent, as a something I love to do. I think so it just started because it was something just I do in my free time. Um, Social media needs strategy as well, and I've written an article, I think so in today's Pharmacist, and they published it about social media because social media as well needs strategy. It is an interesting tool. It's an amazing tool if you use it in the right way, and we can promote a lot of work as well towards patients and helping patients. But going out from social media, I'm not just a social media pharmacist. I just do it because I just, my free time and I love doing it. But I work in GP surgeries as a GP practice pharmacist. I worked as well in community pharmacy. I've been an international speaker as well. I've been a keynote speaker in different events, Health Plus Care, and I was in the pharmacy show. So I've been doing a lot of talks as well according to the pharmacy is changing and what's the changes and how we're moving in the changing pharmacies from white coats to delivering more patient-centered care. So the aim is not just as well I help pre-regs so and train them by some clinical stuff and it's not just social media. Of course you can be just a social media person, so I do too much to support patients on day-to-day basis.
I mean, I certainly think that one of the things that I would like to um,
I have
say thank you
feedbacks
to is
as
actually
well from pharmacists
the,
shadowing me in GP practice. I'm happy to share them with everyone else. So I had pharmacists joining me as well in GP surgery. I'm chairing 5 events in Guildford for with Morph, and as well I am doing a session in North West London as well for primary care, specifically for primary care diabetes. So we're involved in the more clinical stuff. It's not just social media, everyone. Just to
I
clarify
mean,
that.
certainly, yeah, people don't necessarily see what the amount of hard work that you're doing. They might just see the social media. As well as that, I
Yeah,
do
social
want to
media is
actually
hard
say that
work.
actually, yeah, it is hard work, exactly. And also, I do want to say, I mean, certainly, from my point of view, actually, it's quite nice to actually have somebody who's willing to engage with the public, and actually raise the profile of pharmacists. And that, that's a good thing. I do think that social media is something that we as pharmacists should engage with, but in a responsible way, to actually help the public, to improve their knowledge, and actually to help them improve their care. Actually, there's a lot of things out in social media which are not necessarily the best things for a patient, but this is where patients are looking for the information, and we as health professionals should actually be there to provide, good quality information for them. So I do think, it's really good and refreshing to actually have you as an advocate, for pharmacists, um, and certainly pharmacies as well in terms of what we do. I mean, I've seen some of the posts that you've been doing regarding, the flu vaccinations, for example, and also some of the, post that you did regarding, GP practice. So it's quite refreshing to see that as well. Um, Now, before I end this session, because it's meant to be a 15-minute session, I just want to give you a chance to, to say anything you want to say to your listening, just to let them know what you what you think, any outro statement that you want to say to them.
Yeah. So I know it was a really short live session. I know it's not easy. I think I might be your first guest for regarding the Birth and English Pharmacy Board, which is not easy. I asked everyone to join and be part of it and let them talk and let their voice be heard and let everyone. I think it's really important to communicate with the person who's standing for the English Pharmacy Board. And I'm more than happy if you want to send me any questions, you can send them to me or to Abby directly, and I'm happy to come back to any question you ask me. I'm happy to share my letters with you directly because I just talked today about just basics. There's more into that. I've written a lot of stuff up regarding the cuts and what we're gonna do and what's the plan for community and all the other sectors, hospital, GPs, and everything. So everything is planned, everything is ready to go. Just send me a text over, and I'm happy to answer your questions. Votes will open on the 30th of April, and I will encourage every single person to vote because your voice is really important for us. If you're an RPS member, please just vote for us, and let's take the RPS to a very different, engaging stage for every pharmacist to be involved in. And I would like to thank you all very much for joining us live today. And it's a pleasure for me as well to be your guest, Adi. And thank you very much for hosting me today.
Yeah, no, thank you very much, Hala, for coming. What I would like to say is, Hala, I genuinely would like to say thank you for, taking your time to speak to us, and actually for being the first person on here. I do agree with you. I do believe that it is very important for those candidates to actually be willing to actually speak to the people who they're going to represent, not just, what they type, and not just what they text. It's
Yeah.
very important to have a live session and to speak to people, and I will definitely be reaching out to more candidates, and I do hope that, they're willing and they're bold enough to actually come and speak to people openly, and actually, receive questions as well. So I mean, for my part, Hala, I know that you're generous in terms of, this run and this debate, this election that's going on. So I want to wish you the best of luck. And I am an RPS member, so I will definitely be voting. I would also like to encourage everybody who is an RPS member to make sure that you vote. I think, you know, we pay a lot of money to the RPS, and I think we complain at times about things not in the right way, and certain things that haven't been happening in pharmacy. And I really want to tell you that, this is your chance to make sure that you actually start having an impact. The certain that, you know happens in the RPS is not perfect, but this is our professional body, and so we have to take it into our
Oh,
own
by the way,
hands. We have to
I'll be
engage
in the
with them.
CPC Congress this Friday. If anyone want to come and have a chat with me as well, you're more than welcome. Come and find me in the RP and the CPC Congress. There
Yeah,
you
and yes,
go.
yes.
More
So there you go. She's
face
she's
to face.
absolutely, yeah. because I was so open having a discussion with you face to face. And I think that's a wonderful thing to see such level of transparency and such level of actually engagement with the public. So I really do hope that people are willing to vote for you. And best of luck.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Have a lovely
Thank you to
evening.
everybody who, yeah, and thank you to everybody who's taken the time out to come and listen to us. This will be available on Facebook as well, so hopefully more people can actually listen to this again. All right. Have a nice
Thank
day, evening. Hello. And have a nice
Bye.
day, guys.
Bye bye.